another episode of Pitch Practice, the show. The show. Hello, everybody. Thanks for watching out there. My name is Mark. I'm the guy behind the mental marketer and the private Facebook group Funnel Building 101. Now, I help online business owners and entrepreneurs leverage the power of sales funnels to build the lifestyle business of their dreams. And today, what's up, Laura?
Good morning, everybody. My name is Laura, and I live to self-actualize. I've been doing pitch practice for 3 years with my friends every Wednesday at 7 a.m. Eastern, and it's something that's completely changed my life around. I went from, working in the auto industry, startup tech, to working in the franchise sales industries. So those commissions are like 100x different. So that tells you the value of practicing, the value of pitching, the value of honing into your skill, and the value to really put your mind to work in a niche. And today we're going to talk about $100 million slam offers. And one of the major points that book's talking about now is about the riches are in the niches. So that means you need to get so good at whatever it is you're selling, so good at your offer that even in a bad market, if the demand is there, you would have business.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Niche, the riches are in the niches. That's boy, that's like a battle cry in the marketing world. It's I've heard people say niche your face off. Niche your face off. But our man, okay, so we're in Alex Hormozi's book 100 Million Offers.
Yeah.
Are you loving this book, Laura? Are you loving it?
I've really loved how easy it is to read. I'm a very um I'm a very straight to the point. I like people that write like you talk.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much easier to read something, understand something, right? I'm a very practical person and I want to get to the point. I want to know, like, give me the goodies, like, tell me what exactly to do and I will do it. So I've really appreciated how Alex has written this book. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I've enjoyed it. Brandon did a really good job picking this book for us.
You said pretty straightforward, not a lot of fluff. It's
Nope.
just straight to the point. And I think that
Yeah.
in this chapter too, it was short. It wasn't very long, but very succinct. But he made some really great points. All right, smash that heart button out there if you're watching. If you're on LinkedIn, smash it, smash it, smash it. You know, LinkedIn.
Add us on LinkedIn. Let's network. Let's become friends. Hey, and let's do some business together. How about that one?
Yes. How about that? You know, LinkedIn has a heart button now. Well, it's had a heart button for a while, right? It has about, what is it, like 5 different reactions that you can actually press. So what we want on LinkedIn is we want the heart button. That's what we want. So if you're watching out there, thanks for tuning in. And you want to, so let's, a starving market, a starving market.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's a story that maybe you've heard before, but there was a group of students that were asked in a sales situation, if what is the most important thing, if you got a hot dog stand, what's the most important thing? Is it the location? Is it your price? Is it you know,
Quality.
yeah, Is it the quality? Is it the amount of people? Is it like a large group of people that will make the biggest difference? And tons of different answers. As a matter of fact, let's ask you out there listening right now, out there watching. What do you think is the most important thing when it comes to selling your product? Is that it? Am I saying it right,
Yeah,
Laura?
right. Yeah. Is it location? The best price? What do you guys think?
What do you
Because
think? What do you
what do
think?
you think? Put it in the chat. Because we're about to tell you exactly what the right answer is.
Right, right.
You gonna tell them the truth, or I'm not gonna tell them the truth? You gonna tell them the truth? Tell them the truth.
You tell them the truth, Laura. They can't handle the truth.
Any business, guys, regardless of what kind of business it is, if you have a starving crowd and so
Mhm.
much for it, your offer could be mediocre. You could be a bad salesperson. You could have zero persuasion. But if you had a hot dog stand and all of a sudden you had a starving crowd, you're going to sell out, right? And I know
Mhm.
that's true because how many times have you or I have gone to a football game, a soccer game, a hockey game, and the food was terrible, but you still
Mhm.
ate it, you were hungry, right? And you were there. And it
Mhm.
was the only place that you could get the food anyway, right?
Oh.
So again, there's a starving crowd. So
Mhm.
you what in your industry is a starving crowd? Where is there a starving crowd? Because then that ties into another point that we're going to make about finding your niche.
Mhm. Mhm. I've found myself uh eating nachos with asking for nachos and eating nachos from yeah what is it? We'll just say processed cheese and bagged stale nachos
And
and eat.
people ate
Mhm.
them, and they were like $12 for a tiny little tray.
Yes, yes, a starving crowd. When you've got a starving crowd, then it almost gives you are the choice. You are the
Exactly. You become the choice, right? And that
yeah.
does mean, look, you should improve that product, right? But what his point that he's saying is you need demand. You need demand. Like, don't kid yourself. Because then he goes to say another story about how one of his friends named Lloyd was a huge uh, salesperson and just the best salesperson, kind of like he's ever met. But he was in the newspaper industry, and that industry is shrinking by 25% year over year. So, how in the world could you be a great salesperson in an industry that's shrinking,
Mhm.
right? Put yourself in a room where that industry is only expanding and there's so much demand for whatever it is that you're doing.
Mhm. 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 It's so let's look at this from a modern day standpoint, like as in today is what's happened since last week to this week. Um, it's just burning up the airwaves still, and that is the chat. Uh, the AI assistant. There is lots of buzz about it. You hearing a lot of buzz even out there in the franchise space, Laura, or is
I have started using Chat GPT to help me write better when I
uh-huh.
communicate with writing. So whenever we submit a like referrals to a franchisor, right? Because there's like 8 brands that we offer, but I focus on one. But whenever we submit a brand referral to example, if you were my client, right, I'd still
Mm.
have to write application
Okay. Oh, what do you mean application?
to the brand. So
Okay.
example, wanted to do, I don't know, say just an example, a Great Clips store, and you were interested in becoming a franchisee, I'd have to write what is called a a dossier, kind of like an article about you and why you would be successful at that business and what you would bring to make the system better, right?
Mhm.
So, like an application, like I'm the person that submits that for you. So, what I've started doing is going to GPT chat and writing what I need to write about a
Mhm.
person, their description, but putting like write better and then the description. And then I'm like, why would I not use all these things to my advantage to make me sound smarter? That's the
Oh
point
yeah.
of tech.
Yep. Yep. And it's not being used to substitute what you're doing, but it's being used to aid you. And uh
Tool. It's just a tool. It's
and
just a
the yeah, and the interesting thing is that you can become better by using this tool. That reminds me, Laura, I need to send you a free invite to another tool that you can use as well. It's a it has AI imaging, and I have free invites. So
okay.
it's a beta software, and they're improving day week after week and month after month. So right now it's free. I have no question it's going to be charged. I'll get it to you. Yeah, that's right. You were playing around with Chat GPT there for a while. I saw you making a couple notes with it. But the starving market with AI right now, and what you see with it right now is that a ton of people wanting to be first to market. Um, this, I think, the tool is so in our my industry, our industry. What is starving? He talked about articulate the pain.
Yep.
What pain are they feeling? And a lot of people in the online marketing space are feeling pain with content creation.
Yes. Pain
content
agreed with that.
Content creation, daily content, daily ideas, daily time management, the time that it takes, and being able to quickly produce these pieces of content, whether it's blog articles, whether it's scripts for videos, whether it's ads, whether it is just social posts. That's a pain point, and it's the amount of time that you're spending doing it, the amount of time you're spent writing it and trying to come up with ideas, and that is a pain. And now with this Chat GPT, it is alleviating some of that pain. I won't say it's alleviating all of it, but it's making it easier to do the research. And then it's also making it easier to generate images
Yeah.
and and generate images that can be used for lots of social content and on landing pages as well. That's a pain when it comes to my online marketers out there. What's up, my family? Love to see you. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, fam out there. Starving crowd. Hey, everybody's part of a starving crowd,
Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
And that subscribe button. I know you're
Hit
starving for information. Hit it. Hit the list. Hit the
it. And yeah.
you know, think to ask, and like I'm talking about like asking myself, it's like, what's a starving pain in my life that I would pay a lot of money for, right? So like that's how you start thinking about what puts somebody in a starving market. Think about your own life.
Mm-hmm.
How do you make somebody something better, easier, faster, less time consuming, easier to understand? It's all about how do you make something better, but make something less painful for somebody else. So that's when Alex starts talking about how whenever you're in a market, then you need to go pick a niche. He's like, stop trying to be everything for everyone, because he says you need to be in a niche. The reason you need to be in a niche It's because the more you're in a niche, he says, that's
Mhm.
where the riches are. The more expertise you have, that's where the riches are. And then he has this Dan Kennedy example that proves this point. You want to tell him about that example?
All right, I'll tell them about it. Yes, it was a niching pricing product example, and it illustrates how you can how the more you niche down, that you're able to charge more for your products.
Yeah.
So, and it started off with the time management, excuse me, time management for professionals, a time management for professionals product that may sell for $99. I'm not
Right.
sure if that was the right. I'm just putting a price on it. Time management, time management for professionals, $99. Then you niche down and you say time management for sales professionals, a 197 price. And because you've niched down even more. But now let's take it a step further and let's niche down to time management for B2B sales professionals, 297. So now we've really niched down to a specific, and what this does is this causes that your audience, your ideal customer, the person that you were called to serve, to say that applies to me.
Yeah.
That applies to me.
Yeah.
Professional, if and then let's take it a little further. Let's niche down even a little further. Time management for outbound B2B sales professionals. Now you've got that outbound B2B salesperson saying, I could use that. That's for me. If you go from professionals to outbound B2B gardening sales rep. Yeah.
So the more narrow you get in that niche, he said you need to be so good at even turning people away that aren't right for your product, because then that in a sense built a culture for that product. And he says you need to just stick to like those who's, and those are the one that are your core customers. And if you could build a business with those niches, those eventually end up being other niches that you could provide, right? So
Mm-hmm.
the more you focus on being so narrow about your focus, and that's something that's so healthy to hear from me, because I feel like in my earlier 20s, I was just like trying to be a lot of things. And now I'm just like, good. I focus on three things that are important to me, right? My relationship with myself, God, my relationship with my family, right? My boyfriend, my dog, right? And then my sales skills in the franchise sales industry. And that's it. I keep it so simple, like so simple, because to be the best at something, that means you got to be in a niche.
Oh yeah, yeah, and it allows you to really get in those hours, and
Yep.
every you start to understand every uh nuance about that niche, and you are able to serve that person, your franchisees. You're able to award them with
Yeah.
the franchise that they've always desired, Some people say, it's interesting because he says it in this chapter too. He says that you want to articulate the pain.
You do.
Remember? Yep.
You want to
Mhm.
pain. Yeah.
Yep. Articulate the pain, and that's where it comes. And it's uh I've heard this, you know, we call it, I've heard it called marketing speak, because you could say, I've listened to Alex Hormozi a lot of times. Do you follow Alex Hormozi? No, you don't, right? You don't really follow anyone,
I
right?
in him, I've not really paid attention to him. I have heard him, And I think what I remember him as is like this gym guy.
Yeah.
That's all
He
I really know about him. And I know he's coach. He's gotten a couple, or maybe at least one consultation coaching with Grant. And I know he's a YouTuber, but outside of that, I don't
no
really know him.
like not a fan or a follower. What you'll see him, his signature hat with a lot of hair flowing. What is it? One of those nasal strips across his nose. Have you seen that? Nasal strip, white t-shirt, maybe a lumberjack shirt with
Yeah. And like he worked Crocs, maybe.
yeah.
I do remember that.
Yeah. Yeah, you remember the Crocs? Crocs
I
with
do.
socks. Crocs with socks,
Crocs.
right? Is
I
that
remember.
well,
I remember.
yes. So, I'm on YouTube a lot. So I've seen quite a few of his videos kind of pop up on my feed. And it's around this time that I think, okay, so he's also spoken at on stage at an event that I've not been to it, but I'm enrolled in the training on YouTube Formula with Daryl Eves, and he runs a annual event, in-person event. I think it's called. I hope I'm not saying it right. It's like VidCon. I know they have a couple. They have Vid Summit and VidCon. I think it's VidCon, but he goes on stage, and I remember him talking about how his with his social media presence and what he's saying, he gained like I think he said he spent close to maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars on the social media, but it brought him a return of
Wow.
millions
Wow.
of dollars. And some of the things that I've heard him say have talked about how to word your he gives out these tips on his videos about how to uh, do things, and I've heard him talk about that pain thing, and one phrase that he says works for him. That's what I'm saying, this to get to this one point, right? It is this phrase right here, Laura. Okay, um, doesn't it piss you off? Doesn't it piss you off, that phrase right there? And here's some context. Doesn't it piss you off to see so many young people out there that seem to be crushing it online? Doesn't it doesn't it piss you off that normal, just random people seem to have success when you struggle so hard? That's
I would, yeah, I would say it's so normal to be jealous and to be kind of like, oh, like I've tried that, it doesn't work for me. That goes back to what he was saying. Hold on, I'll pull it on here. Can you
okay.
see me?
Yeah, I can see.
Because this goes exactly back to exactly how he ended the chapter, which I honestly, that was such a good line. Okay, this is how he ended
Oh
the
yeah,
chapter.
I wrote it down. I wrote it down.
Yeah, he says,
That's gonna be the title of this video.
yeah, he says, if you try 100 offers, I promise you will succeed. Most people never try anything. Others fail once, then give
Mhm.
up. It takes resilience to succeed. Stop personalizing. And I'm talking to
Yeah.
myself. It's not about you. If your offer doesn't work, it doesn't mean you suck. It means your offer sucks. That's a big difference. You only suck if you stop trying. So try again. You'll never become world class if you stop after a failed attempt. Bam.
As soon as we read that, I said, that's the title of this video right here. If your offer doesn't work, it doesn't mean you
You
suck.
suck.
It
It
means
means
your
your
offer
offer
sucks.
sucks.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so true about if you try 100
Yeah.
offers, I promise you'll be successful. It's that most people don't try. But look, Laura, here's the thing. Here's the thing. You and I, and if you're listening out there, you're
Out
watching
there.
us, we know that you're not in that category that tries once and gives up. No, you've got some resilience.
Yeah.
You've got resilience. And
Yes, you
if
do.
if you try, I don't care if it's at your, if it's at your sixth, seventh, 10th, 20th, 30th,
Yeah.
45th, 45th.
100th.
Yeah, it takes resilience to succeed.
Yeah.
It's not what people talk about. People talk about the successes, but this is not a success. Success doesn't get well, success does get you to the success, but to get through it,
You
you
got to
got
go through a lot of push and a lot of like willing to listen. So like the key word that I've stuck to this year was, what if I just listened?
Mhm.
Like, what would it do me better? Like, why is it that something doesn't work for me? Oh, yeah, it's because I try to do it my way. And I wasn't willing to listen to somebody else. And I
Mhm.
try to tweak their thing. And I'm at a point where I don't need to make something better. I just need to listen to somebody and do exactly what they tell me to do. Right. Like, think of it this way: if you were having surgery, open heart surgery, do you want to
Mhm.
do exactly what the doctor wants to do to make sure you stay alive?
Mhm.
Or do you want to add a couple of things that you think are improvements that maybe make things worse?
Yes, yes. There is something that I read from Grant Cardone recently when we
Okay.
got. Did you like that 10x Unbreakable?
I like the notebook, the 39 pages. I'm actually gonna print them out and I'm gonna
The,
reread them. And I want to go back and rewatch all of it. I will make time. And
oh man.
I my focus has been on just sticking to Cardone U and the certifications, and
Mhm.
that's where I focus my attention. But yeah, so much information. At some point, just go do anything with it. Just go do something with it.
Well, let me ask you something. Was that 10x on the 10x is that like the 10x rule? Did you find that it was just repurposed? So have you read that before?
I've read the 10x rule. I haven't read the 10x unbreakable version of the 10x rule,
Okay.
but
Okay.
very much he updated it. I hadn't looked at it, and I know he also came up with the 10x mentor that I hadn't looked at yet.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And how to repurpose stuff and how to just add a couple of things according to a market. Good for him. Like those are books that are for a lifetime. Like you read them
Yeah.
over and over and over again.
Yeah. Yeah. So I wanted to read something because we were talking about you know, just having that resilience. And I just wanted to read something. I want to get this in from that
Okay.
what he a passage in there. Read this, okay? So this is like very early on in the 10x Unbreakable Entrepreneur when he says that.
Okay.
He says, so the question becomes, will you be one of the ones to reap the spoils of this unprecedented time in our history? Because you've read this far, I'd bet money that you're better prepared than most entrepreneurs to do just that. Then he says, look, I talk to a lot of business owners day in and day out, and the ones who think they know it all are usually those who don't have a clue, while those who are humble and hungry enough to say, teach me, are usually way ahead of the game. Congrats on being in the latter group. You've already taken a stance for excellence. So you were talking about
Bam.
what would happen if I just listen? what would happen if I just listened and said, you know what? I tried. Okay, so there's a thin line. There's a line to be drawn here because it seems sometimes the people that don't know stuff are the ones that want to talk the loudest and they take the most time. So I tend to try to listen, but I may not take all of the advice. I may I may not take all the advice, but I'm not going to say, oh, that's what. I'm just going to say, okay, that's interesting. Maybe I've never considered that before. I'm not saying I'm going to try it or anything like that, but just being an ear, still listening and being able to what is
Yeah.
useful, sift through what is useful without it taking up too much of my time. Because there comes a point where it's like, okay, I've heard enough of this. Okay, I've heard enough of this. I was listening to someone. Let me ask you something real quick. Let me ask, okay, I know our time is running down, but because this person that's made it to $1 million, and I've heard Alex Hormozi say it too, it's one of the most important things that you need to learn, and that is to say no. To say no. And I'm talking to friends that,
Oh, yes.
and I
Yes.
almost felt like when I heard them say, I was like, they're talking to me.
Okay. I mean, that's interesting. Like, I mean, I know something I had to say no to, and it was a little hard. I'm not gonna lie. Was I deleted my Facebook, I deleted my Instagram. I just do LinkedIn, but that's because it's the business stuff. But you have to be willing to say, like, what do I really want? Right? For me, it was like, hey, I want to be a top salesperson in my industry. I want to be a great mother one day. I want to be a great, wife one day. I want to be, a great girlfriend. I want to be a great person for my family and for myself and have a great relationship with God and be a top sales producer. So that means I have to say no to so many other things. That means
Mm.
I'm on the phone sometimes between 8 in the morning till 8, 9 o'clock every single night, sometimes even on weekends, but that's what it takes. You got to say no to everything that is not part of those things that are important to you and say yes to more of those things that are important to you. And most of the time you find out is like three core things.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. And it was for me, it was like they're talking to me. You have the friend that calls you and you want to listen, and it's the same thing. It's like, come on. And it's like for me, okay, I'm gonna say this, right? But it's kind of like, you're listening to problems that aren't really problems. It's like, this is not really a problem. And then it's okay. I'll listen to it once, but now it's like, okay, you're still in that same position, and then you're not doing anything about it. So it's like, oh man, it's
Yeah.
like,
It's like, hey, you don't deserve any more of my time. You know, you need to fix it or don't fix it. But, you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
do or
yeah.
don't. It's only do. So, so
Yeah,
with that, last thoughts. I gotta hop off in 30 seconds. Last thoughts. Last thoughts.
I just want to throw a shout out there to Mr. John Serge Gagnon on Facebook coming in. He says, in response to a week when we put our new intros out there, he loves your new intro when you said you award franchise brands that make a sense to you. Thanks for watching, John Serge. He is a regular watcher. Thanks for watching, Sharon. She's always watching. Tracy, we love seeing you. Thanks for joining us every week. That's it.
And Brandon will be back next week.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, I hope so.
All right, guys, go 10x it.
All
Always.
right.
Always.
Go out there and get it. All right. See you soon.
Bye,
Bye.
bye.